Alrighty, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Renegade Operative coming at you live with yet another video because I have a bit on my mind to share, illustrate, and discuss with the potential and the rumor mill and everything going around. It is Tokyo Game Show week. There will be a lot of talkative people during this week. And during this week, we saw the revelation or ideas or tumblings around or rumblings within the industry. Insiders, Shapeshai Nick, he was talking about a post that he quote retweeted. And this post was mentioning something from the Game Awards. And they said, name your next dream developer for the next Batman game. We haven't seen a good quality Batman series since the Arkhamverse. The last one was Arkham Knight. We're not counting Arkham Shadow, some VR money-hatted degree, which is for VR people, but it's not for me. But Arkham Knight was the last hurrah that Batman sort of ended on in the gaming stratosphere, and it was a experience where it had some very interesting and meticulous and great gameplay, but I felt it was disjointed in its story offerings. I played Suicide Squad or Squad, Kill the Justice League, and I thought it was a fundamental gameplay experience. I enjoyed what I played. I could understand that this game did not go over well as a financial success, according to WB, good old Warner Brothers over there, fucking saying, this game flopped and it failed to meet expectations. And I did think that the DLC or fucking all the seasons that they were putting out with Joker and Mrs. Freeze, I thought they were misses because I did not like that I had to grind to a new level of mastery with Joker in order to play him in what is essentially free post-launch updates. Like, seriously, it's made to make you grind even more, or if you say fuck it, you could pay for it and unlock the character immediately, unless they changed that, which I really didn't like initially when they did that. I don't know what's up with WB in the way they market post-game content and grinding and monetary value or devalue, because I did not like them charging for holiday fatalities in Mortal Kombat 1. It's a whole other can of worms. And I like Mortal Kombat 1 as well, but WB is probably one of the worst publishers I've seen in human history with how they coordinate microtransactions. But still, Shapeshai Nick retweeted this post and it said, name your dream developer for the next Batman game. And he said, I'm not sure which people's studio dream it would be, but I heard Rocksteady are back making it. I also heard that Sony is trying to money hat the situation. This tells me that, well, there's a couple of things on my mind with this information. For one, it seems like Rocksteady Studios is going back to the drawing board and going back to roots yet again. Now, usually what happens with companies is when they try a new and ambitious idea, something they put a lot of stock, time, money, development, resources into, and it doesn't turn out well financially. As I said before, I enjoyed my time with Kill the Justice League, but there are post-game updates I don't really agree with and other things as well. So what does a company do if they have a financial flop on their hands? They usually go back to roots, try to mitigate the situation and see what occurs after the fact. Number one, I'm gonna make this really clear for you guys. I do not like this decision to go back to the Arkhamverse. I know that's wild, that's crazy. Maybe that's like a frosty, ice-written cold take coming from me, the biggest Arkham fan probably out there alive. Well, I'm probably not the biggest. That's probably a little bit of hyperbole, but still, you understand where I'm coming from. I love these games. Arkham Asylum, City, Knight, Origins, even Origins, the game that people like to shit on a lot. I love that game to pieces. The reason I'm saying this and I am kind of disinterested in another Arkham game is because I've played like 4 of them already that I loved, that I enjoyed, that I couldn't get enough of. I feel like this is kind of, in a way, the panic button. And it's also not the most creative. It feels like some creative bankruptcy to just say, well, we have nothing else, let's go back to Batman. Because Batman makes money. And because Sony wants it, and Sony wants to profit off of superheroes, as opposed to, like, I don't know, trying to go out there and bring in a lot of these games that needs to come out for the PS5. Oh wait, we have a PS5 Pro coming out. Go buy that and play last generation titles. It's disappointing, all things considered. And I just want to see more creativity with DC superheroes. I love Batman, but I think it's time for someone else. I think it's time for someone to tackle creativity, ambition, and finally make a Superman game. Like, what I know, it's very hard to make Superman. Superman has a lot of gameplay, I want to say, hurdles to get over. Like a lot of gameplay hurdles. Like, can he blow through a building? Does he want to blow through a building with people inside of it? You know, how much are they going to restrict him? What type of game is it going to be? Why are Superman games so hard to develop in the first place and make them readily enjoyable? Someone breaking that mold, that would be cool. Maybe make a Green Lantern game. You have the Lantern Corps, you have all the people surrounding him, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, they could be a duo. You never know. That'd be cool, having these fucking spectral willpower guns and shooting people up and shooting up aliens and shit like that, you know? Well, not people, but, you know, bad aliens or whatever, you know, because Green Lantern, you know, gotta fight for the will of the universe. That would be spectacular. Constantine fighting demons and going around and being a detective and delving into the paranormal atmosphere of what a game like that would entail. Other characters, the Flash, you could fuck with speed and you know, break the sound barriers and make a cool game out of that. The only thing that is different that WB seems to be making is the Shadow of Mordor influenced Wonder Woman game that's coming out. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but we haven't seen anything from that. Why not do more DC superheroes? I've seen enough of Batman put like his fucking elbow to someone's head, slam them into the ground and say, now talk. All right. If the idea is, and I'm not saying this game would possibly be a bad game, I think it's going to be a really fun time to go back into Arkham, but I think it's time to move on to something else after Arkham Knight. The only way a game like this would entice me creatively, once again, to have that sort of vigor, to play it, thoroughly enjoy it, have no problem, stop bitching, is if they decide to tackle a thematic that I don't know why they leave this man on the side, Terry McGinnis on the side of the road like a dirty, like, half-born baby. I don't know why they do this. But Batman Beyond, I feel like Batman Beyond has untapped potential. I made videos on this. I said this before. The pipe dream Batman Beyond, because futuristic Batman in Neo Gotham, in terms of gameplay and just going around in your space like spaceship looking sky Batmobile or whatever, the Batwing, and just dropping out and flying with like the boots and everything. I think that would make for interesting gameplay with Arkham style gameplay, and it's mostly just sci-fi futuristic shit, and you're dealing with an entirely new protagonist with his own plights and concerns and issues and trauma. Terry McGinnis, while Bruce Wayne watches in the background, you know, older, more grizzled, more of a shadow in the night, but he still wants to be Batman, but he can't because his heart is like failing him. And it's a very, very cool story they can make into a video game. If they thematically cross that over and make something of that caliber, I'd be there day one. I would retract all my words. So I'd be like, you know what, fuck this, I'm buying this day one. Arkham in the Batman Beyond universe, cool. But if it's a traditional Arkham game that we've seen before, and they try to do like a prequel Arkham Shadow 2.0, but the storyline isn't VR inspired, then I'm not gonna care as much. I feel like everything rides on nostalgia for this choice. It does. It rides on nostalgia, it rides on your feelings, it rides on going back to what worked before. And sometimes, to me, a person who wants more riskier and creative thematics and ventures, I just think my time in the shadow of the older Arkhamverse is done. I've lived through that. I've experienced that. I had all my fun there. I beat the shit out of bad guys at Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, just going around and doing all this fun stuff. And I feel like my memories for that game are preserved in history, as opposed to wanting just another part of that formula to come back into fruition with the same old, same old. I feel like we can ask for more, and we should have more delivered. And I don't think that is a issue or problem with people feeling like this. I hope that I'm not alone, but I probably am. I don't think that a lot of big time Arkham people are gonna probably agree with this standpoint. They're probably like jumping for joy. They said Suicide Squad didn't appeal to me, but a new Arkham game does. And that's respectable, that's understandable. You can want what you want. But me personally, I want more. I want risky things. I want thematics never done before with Batman. If they're gonna deliver Batman, I want new heroes. I want them to push the envelope instead of giving me the same old shit. I want something. If you're gonna do that, give me a spin on it. Pitch me a new idea. Put a twist, as opposed to saying, hey, here's another Arkham game. And if it is the same old, then I'm just not as excited. And it's wild. This is the first time I ever felt like this in history with a Batman game, especially Arkham. It's like, I want to play something new. I want new DC heroes. I want variety. I want something more. I feel like I'm not even asking for much, because these developers, if they can spend like millions upon trillions of dollars, they're able to do at least one different DC hero. All right. I just hope the best. I still have good faith that if it is a single player Rocksteady game, that might appeal a little bit more to the wider audience than live service multiplayer. The only other thing I can think of, if they're gonna do like a multiplayer game, maybe Justice League would work, but I have no idea. But I wouldn't mind a Justice League game. Aquaman game, shit, you could do so much, man. Either way, this is Renegade Operative. This is an old school, old head motherfucker, Arkham fan, pouring out his heart and saying, you know, I want to lay the rose on the chalk outline that is Bruce's parents. I want to pay my respects, and I want to leave my memories in Crime Alley and focus on something bigger. I want something bigger and better if they're gonna do that. And I think the thematic needs to evolve if they're going back to roots, or just make a new superhero game entirely, and I'd be really fucking appeased by that. But these are my off-the-cuff thoughts on being disinterested if they make another routine Arkham game. And hopefully you guys understood, you know, where I was coming from and saw the points that I was making. There's a lot of avenues where they can go from here, but sometimes you fall up, you fall down as a developer, you know, all of your things and products. And I think this is important to say before we end the video. Everything that you make, sometimes it's not going to be always a banger, and I believe this should come true with audience expectations. There's going to be something that comes out that might be something you don't enjoy. As much as I said Capcom makes like nothing but bangers, a lot of people kind of felt a little bit indifferent about RE3, you know what I mean? They felt a little bit indifferent about Exo Primal, even though I thought they were fun games. So all of them are not gonna be like 9 out of 10s. You might get your 7s, you might get your fucking 8s. You have to sort of expect that with the territory. I don't think that Rocksteady is completely finished, but I can see why they're making this choice of going back to the drawing board. I can see why. If something doesn't work out, you go with your safe bets, but sometimes your safe bets on what sells is just kind of funny. It's kind of funny considering, and it does pay off sometimes, but it shows that it's a panic button. It really is. And the last thing is Sony getting in on this deal, and Sony getting it. They want to own the superhero medium. They do. They know that even themselves, they had a live service on their hands with Concord, and it didn't work out for them financially, and they pulled the game. Therefore, the next best thing is to invest into DC and Marvel. They already have Spider-Man in the back pocket if they're money hatting, but there is the idea of the Terminus deal, which is like $6 million if this doesn't go well. And I assume a Terminus deal would be probably made. If they made one with Marvel, it's gonna be one for DC. 6 million smackers all across the fucking board. $6 million, a smoke up, Tony. Here's a lot of money if we don't decide to support this stuff anymore, or it's not working out, or this partnership goes awry. We need to get paid. Absolutely crazy. All right. But hey, Spider-Man worked out for them. I'm sure Wolverine will do well. And if Batman is money had it, I'm just kind of curious why Microsoft did not jump on that bandwagon sooner than later. Anyway, my discussion on this is done. Very interesting topics all around. While I would want to see, and we had a lot of Arkham style games before, like Shadows of Mordor, all that other shit, and the formula could be utilized for something else. I wouldn't mind a Batman Arkham playing game for another character. Maybe bring back the idea of Watchmen under that style. I liked Watchmen The End is Nigh for the PS3, but anyway, I am fucking jabbering now. I'm just throwing out ideas, I'm throwing out solutions, inspirations. Big superhero nerd here. Comment below and let me know what you guys think of the potential of Sony grabbing a Batman game from Rocksteady Studios. Fucking crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments and what are your opinions. And I'm kind of disinterested in a routine, you know, try again, unless there's some spice to the flavor. That's the only way I'm gonna care. Anyway, If I, you know, to answer the question, I'll do one more. All right, this is real talk, so I can talk as long as the fuck I want. But to answer this question, name your dream developer for the next Batman game. If I had a personal opinion, who would it be? Someone that's not Rocksteady. Shit. Now you got me thinking. You know, I personally think. Damn, I don't want to be biased and say Capcom. You know, I'm gonna fucking say Capcom. I think Insomniac doing a Batman game would be very interesting. Insomniac games, I think them doing Batman would be cool in a way where it's like they have movement down pat so hard. It's so good in Spider-Man, and to see that sort of traversal like come over and it maybe be a little bit different, because I know it's gonna be a little bit slower pace, but maybe they can make Batman like just move and zip around real quick and do something crazy with it. They have good combat systems. Most people like to compare and contrast the two between Batman and Spider-Man, but and they like gadgets. I think gadgets is like Insomniac's thing now. They shoehorned that into Spider-Man, so Batman has a lot of gadgets that they would play with and upgrade, and I think that'd be something of interest. If Insomniac did a Batman game, I sound like Beetlejuice having a fucking smart accent. I know I don't, but you know, I just sound like that shit. So Insomniac games and DC, ooh. Oh man, just imagine the possibilities, motherfucker. Just imagine the possibilities. Anyway, I'm signing out for real. I answered the question. I want to see what other people said in the thread. Insomniac games, yeah. From Software, yeah. Naughty Dog, maybe. Remedy, I don't know. Maybe. Remedy makes good stories though, so that could be cool. EA. Maybe if EA just like left them alone. Coalition, you know, that I would like to see Coalition do a DC shooter. I don't know with who, but maybe like if they made like a Deathstroke game or something, you know, that'd be fucking lit. Either way, signing out for real this time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this sort of discussion piece, this fun little video on what I think if Batman came back and what my dream developer is if it's not Rocksteady, and thinking if it's another Rocksteady style game that's Batman related and they don't do any spice with it, that I'm kind of just off the boat at this point. Comment below and let me know, and I will see you guys for real next time. Later.